Psalm 3:3. Rabim omrim lenafshi, ein yeshuata lo velohim selah. So here we get many again at the beginning. Many, this is the same many that we saw in verse 2, the many enemies and the many who are rising up against him. Here, the many are saying. So here's a call participle. The verbal root is amar. That was a wonky mem, but we'll get it to work. Participle of amar. We've got a masculine plural participle here with that omarim. So rabim omarim. So many here as the subject are the ones speaking or saying to my, one CS pronominal suffix, to my soul, nefesh, nafshi, to my soul. So many are saying to my soul, or to my life, or maybe we could say about my life. And if we continue on here, we might get a little bit of clarity on that lamed. Here we have ein, the particle of non-existence. So we would say there does not exist to him salvation, or there is not salvation to him or for him. Now, some of you might be wondering what that little dagesh is right there. That is actually called a dechik, and I would have to refer you to Gesenius or Juan Morioka on this. Basically, it is what looks like a dagesh, but is very closely combining these two words in addition to the accent mark. So the accents combine these two words, but so does that little dachik. So you're to read these two together. So in other words, salvation for him does not exist. That's what is the particle of non-existence is referring to. So salvation does not exist for him. Here we get the bait preposition in God. Now, I want you to look at this vowel pointing of the bait preposition. This is a unique one. This is how the inseparable prepositions will point on a word like Elohim. It takes a sere, and then notice here that you get no vowel pointing underneath the aleph. With Adonai or Yahweh, it's going to do the same thing, but it's going to be a patach. So we get Badonai is how we would say this, and then Belohim. So those are two kind of unique words with the inseparable prepositions and their vowel pointing. Finally, we get the word Selah. Now, for Selah, I take this to be a musical interlude for reflection or something of that nature. It is uncertain, and I'm sure there's someone out there who has devoted a lot of time to the meaning of Selah and could maybe correct me on that, but nonetheless, I take this to be an interlude for reflection. And it's always good when you come to the word Selah to go back and say, what did David just say? What was just said in the psalm that I should be reflecting on? And here we have many who are saying of David's life, there does not exist salvation for him in God. And that's something to reflect on, because I have to imagine there were times that David was saying, is there salvation for me in God? And yet later in the psalm, we're going to see other selahs that allow us to reflect on the Lord's answer to David. He cried and the Lord heard him. And so these are good reflection moments with Selah.